All right, ladies and gentlemen, Melina's gonna be perfect today. She's gonna do a great job. All right, so I got a request to do some walking. Gonna do some walking, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna do some sexy walking. All right, now I'm not doing too much because I don't want YouTube to be like, you can't do that, you're not allowed. I have to make sure I follow all the rules. So the only thing I can do is walk sexy in a nice dress. I can't do that in a bikini because that wouldn't be allowed on YouTube, all right? But I can do that in a nice dress, all right? So totally enjoy it. Now, I know people think I look very, very good. I was watching Katherine Heigl on Oprah, and I was like, okay, I love Katherine Heigl. She's so cute. She's great. I really wish she would have done more romantic comedies because the romantic comedy that she was in with, I think it was Gerard Butler, was so good. And I'm like, why can't she do that again? Like, she was so good. And then she's like, it's sexist. She had all this talk about what it was like to be on the set, and all the talk about what her role was like and how it was bad for women and all this. Which I mean, for me, I just think all that stuff is awesome. I love that kind of stuff. So I'm like, well, I mean, I love Katherine Heigl regardless, but I'm like that kind of stuff is my favorite. I love movies where they have like the sexy girl and the sexy guy doing fun stuff, and they're just kind of like teasing each other and just like romantic comedies, right? Like, I love those kind of roles. And so when Captain Heigl was like against it, I'm like, oh no, like I love her. She was so funny and she was so good. So she's like hasn't done a movie since, and she's like, and so she's talking about her husband, and I'm like, okay, he's probably good looking. I'm sure he's a good looking guy. And then I see him, and she thinks he's sexy, but I'm like, he doesn't look nearly as good as I do. And I'm like, well, I mean, obviously he's good looking. He's not. There's nothing wrong with him or anything. But I'm like, oh my goodness, I look so much better. And then I'm like, holy, that's crazy. And then like, if I compare myself to the celebrity, well, this is me as Marco. I'm not Marco right now. I'm Melina right now, so you might not be able to tell. But if you check out my Marco videos as Marco, you're gonna see that I look very, very good. Now, I think I look better than Christina Aguilera's husband. I look better than Madonna's ex-boyfriend. I look better than Ariana Grande's fiance. I mean, I look better than all these people. Like, I look better than Orlando Bloom, who's marrying Katy Perry or whatever. I'm not even sure what's going on there. But I look better than all these people, and you're like, well, how does that make sense? But I'm like, I'm a nobody, but it's because I haven't been discovered yet. I will get discovered. But I'm like, I can't wait to get discovered. Then I'll be like, I can't believe I look better than all these husbands of these girls. All right. But these girls are like so sexy, they can get any man they want, but they always choose men that aren't exactly the sexiest. And I'm always like, well, I mean, Madonna's dated sexy before, and so I'm sure they all have, but I mean, they don't, they're marrying a man or they're staying with a man and he's not that sexy. I'm like, well, why just don't date a man then? Just be single, right? Like, unless he's like really sexy, why would you bother? But some people, obviously, everybody has to pick a man that they want. And and this is like, I'm just saying for the celebrities, not everybody wants to pick a man like that. I just find, for me anyway, like my wife is very sexy. I mean, I don't know what people do or who people choose. And sometimes people don't want sexy. Some people want someone that is more intelligent or more whatever. But for me, I've always liked sexy. I don't know what you guys like. I don't know what you guys are into, but I've always liked really, really sexy. So when I married my wife, I picked somebody that was really, really sexy, like gorgeous, 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 as Marco, obviously. And so I picked her, and I wanted to pick someone that was really, really sexy. So I did, and so that's what I did because I wanted to be happy with the person, and I wanted to be happy with my choice. So I picked someone really, really sexy, but not everybody likes sexy, but I think my fans all like sexy because they like me. If they want to watch me, they probably like sexy. So, why not pick someone sexy, right? Like that's what I did. But yeah, so it's kind of like, well, so you're like Katherine Heigl is like so pretty, and she picks someone like that, and she thinks he's sexy though. That's the thing, right? Like, she doesn't think there's anything wrong with him, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's not that sexy. And she's thinking he's the greatest guy ever. So I mean, that's a good thing. I don't want her to feel bad about it, obviously. But I'm like, holy, like I've seen sexy guys, and that does not look like a sexy guy. But she was happy, obviously, and she said he treated her very well. So I mean, that's good. But I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyway, guys, when I'm going to Hollywood, I'm gonna be so happy because I'm gonna be like, I'm better looking than almost everybody here, and I'm gonna be so happy. Now, somebody that married smart, somebody that married very, very sexy, and was able to, because she looks gorgeous and she's got lots of money, was the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls, Nicole Scherzinger, married that rugby player, and or I'm not sure if they're married or they're just dating, but she was very bright, right? Like that guy is very gorgeous. None of the other girls in Hollywood, well, not all, I'm sure some of the girls in Hollywood made someone good. Like David Beckham, for instance, is good looking too for Victoria Beckham. But you know, most of those girls don't date good looking, and you're like, well, you're a Hollywood starlet. Like, I know it's important for you to have, well, and maybe having babies is one thing, but why get married? You know, just have babies first, and then find someone you really like. You know. Anyway, guys, I'm totally stoked about my videos. All right, guys. There's a truck sound outside. Okay, click the subscribe button. Thank you. All right, totally enjoy.